All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Meet the Candidates portion of the evening. My name is Marcy Clapper, and I'm the district clerk. We have approximately 45 minutes designated for this segment, and the candidates participating tonight are Ms. Trisha Buscemi, Mr. Brandon Dries, Mr. Michael Maselli, Mr. Jonathan Shalmo, and Mr. Thomas Weaver. Candidates, thank you for providing your bios, which include your reasons for running. These are available on our website and in our cornerstone, which everyone should be receiving soon. I believe they're going out tomorrow. The format for this evening is that each candidate will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves, 3 minutes to answer the questions, and 2 minutes for closing remarks. Our Director of Communications, Lynette Seifer, has agreed to be our timekeeper in an effort to provide equal time to each candidate. Candidates, if you see the red card go up, it means your time is up for that question. And so previously, Ms. Seifer and I randomly drew names for the order to answer questions this evening. And our hope is to provide each candidate with an opportunity to go first if time permits. The candidates are seated in that order. Okay, introduction, let's begin. I would like to start with Mr. Maselli.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Maselli. Sit on the board for 9 years, so some people know me, some people don't know me. A little background, I'm born and raised in Spencerport. My wife and I are both Spencerport graduates. I have 2 children, one a recent graduate and one in the high school, attending Spencerport schools. Network engineer by trade most of my life. So throughout my 9 years at Spencerport on the board, I've served in virtually every committee that has been made available. I've had just about every leadership position that's been made available. Everything from technology to finance to policy. Just about everything related to academia. Beyond that, I sit on 2 other boards out in our community. I've coached numerous sports teams. I really grew up here. I'm committed to this community, and I want to make it the best place out. Part of the reason why I'm here on the board is there's nothing more important for your children's future than their education. It literally drives the rest of their lives. So with that being stated, a lot of people, I decided 9 years ago to just take an active role in that, to participate, to become a leader in this district, to help guide the community and guide the school through the process. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Maselli. Mrs. Buscemi?
Hi, thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. As Marcy said, my name is Trisha Buscemi, and I'll start off by sharing a little bit about myself and why I'm running for school board. I care strongly about our students and our school community for many reasons. I have 2 students in the district, an 8th grader and a 6th grader, both at Cosgrove. And my husband, Eric, is also a proud graduate of Spencerport. I grew up just down the road in Greece, went to school there. Additionally, I have an identical twin sister, Holly Smith, in the district, and we often get mistaken for each other. So I like to share that with people. We really do look exactly alike and sound alike. She has 2 students in the district, and being so close together has led to some amusing mix-ups around town and in school activities, but it's also been a very fun and entertaining way to meet new people around the district. Professionally, I've spent 15 years in human resources, specializing in information technology recruitment. Connecting people with meaningful employment opportunities was my dream job and very rewarding. But in 2017, I faced a pivotal moment in my personal life when one of my children needed extra support in their education. This led me to step away from my career to focus on advocating for and understanding the complexities of special education services. It's been an eye-opening journey, one that has deepened my appreciation for the incredible educators we have here in Spencerport. Through my involvement in various district committees and previous experience as a vice president for the Burnaby Parents Association, I've gained a deeper understanding of our education system and the challenges our students face. And I witnessed firsthand the dedication of our educators and the transformative impact that they have on our students. Now I'm eager to bring that insight to the school board. I'm also a passionate advocate for our students and staff's social, emotional, and mental well-being. And along with many other parents, I also feel that school safety is another top concern, and I am committed to making sure our schools provide a safe and secure learning environment for all students and staff. As a recruiter and career coach, I've gained insights into the skills our students need to succeed in the workforce, and I'm committed to ensuring that they have the support and resources necessary for their future success. Finally, budget constraints are also top of mind for my family and many others in our community, and I believe we can tackle them together with empathy and collaboration. I'm never afraid to ask why and always keep asking why until all my questions are answered. I will be a voice for parents as we approach challenging fiscal times ahead. In closing, I want you to know that putting students first is my top priority, and I'll be a passionate advocate for all students in the district and do my best to ensure we provide a learning environment that allows all students to thrive in their own unique way. Thanks all for your time, and I look forward to that possibility of representing our community on the Board of Education.
Thank you, Ms. Buscemi. Mr. Weaver?
Hi, everyone. I am Thomas Weaver, but everybody kind of knows me as TJ. I am a Spencerport grad. I went to Spencerport all K through 12. I was kind of born and raised here. I've probably spent about 20 or 25% of the waking hours of my life in a Spencerport school at this point. And I had a really great experience there. And after I graduated from Spencerport, I went to RIT, got a degree in applied statistics and economics. And now I'm studying for my PhD at the University of Rochester. And I've been invested in this kind of what goes on with the school board. I've been going to meetings on and off for the last few years. And when Gary Bracken announced his retirement, I figured that this would be kind of a good opportunity for me to get involved and give something back and hopefully help continue to allow students who are currently at Spencerport to continue to have that amazing experience that I had. And I also went through the full special education system myself. I was diagnosed with autism when I was 4 years old. And my mom, who is here tonight, was my biggest advocate. And she made sure that Spencerport gave me all of the wonderful services that they offer. And in some, I had an amazing experience. And I am hoping that as someone who was just a very recent student, I only graduated about 5 years ago. And I think that I have sort of a unique perspective to offer on the board. And I think that I could make a valuable contribution.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver. Mr. Dries?
Thanks, Ms. Clapper. And by way of introduction, my name is Brandon Dries. My wife and I have been community members since 2015. We have a little girl in kindergarten and a future ranger and my son. A lot of my success in life has been through the public education system. I went to a public school, Rockport. Wish I could say Spencerport, but close by. I went to MCC and then I followed it up with 2 years at University of Buffalo. With that education, I was able to get a CPA and work for a Big Four company, PricewaterhouseCoopers. And further on, I was able to take that staff auditor role and transition to Chief Financial Officer at Indus Hospitality Group. Today, in my career, my current role oversees accounting, finance, and HR. The HR perspective oversees between 12 and 1,300 people, depending on the time of year. Our business is made up of development. We build and operate hotels and restaurants in the area. And really through, I guess, the public education system, I feel a lot of, a sense of pride, and an opportunity like this would give me the ability to give back to the community. When I look at kind of what I do on a day-to-day basis, I think it overlaps well with the school program, some of the issues that the school is facing, whether it's facilities and capital investment, whether it's teachers and students and dealing with some of the matters and issues that come up. Really, a lot of my success has just been listening and working together. When I look at the senior leadership team of where I'm at now, it's made up of a group of diversified individuals. We don't all come from the same background. And really what it does is it allows us to kind of collaborate and look at things from a different set of eyes and different perspectives. We've been successful with that so far, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to serve on the board.
Thank you, Mr. Dries. Mr. Shalma?
First, I want to thank the teachers and the staff and parents and really the students. The students are why we're here. Students are why I'm running, and really all of us are running, because we want to make this a better opportunity for the students, a better community for our students. The success of our school board begins with a strong community and strong community support. My goal is to represent that community and to actively listen and collaborate with our incredibly diverse community and the educators to provide the best opportunities for our students and also to provide the best opportunities and resources for our educators. These beliefs have not only driven me to become currently engaged with the different areas around our school, the CVA and Spencerport Music Association, the Equity Committee, and community sports, which I just froze in the wind watching my son play baseball, but also fuels my desire to serve the school further as part of the Board of Education. It would be a great honor. If I was given one opportunity to make the greatest impact or the biggest difference, I would invest in my children. I think all of us would say that if we have children. I would invest in my children and their peers. At a time in their life when there's so many opportunities, they have so much potential. They also have so many things pulling for their attention. And if we can give them as many resources as possible by joining together, that's what I want to be a part of. I would myself be a bridge between teachers and students, community, and the school administration, and making sure they are all given a platform to be heard. And then once decisions are made, making sure there are tangible action steps to be made. It would be an honor to serve and a great privilege.
Thank you, Mr. Stelmo. Okay, question 1, Ms. Buscemi. How will you work to collaborate with current board members and district leadership?
I would start by building relationships with the different groups. I think that's one of my strengths. Meeting with folks one-on-one, whether it's the administrators, teachers, other staff, and different groups that have an interest in what we're doing, and make myself known to them and answer any questions and make sure everybody knows it's a two-way street.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Buscemi. Mr. Weaver, how will you work to collaborate with current board members and district leadership?
As someone who is coming in sort of very new, I mean, I've attended board meetings before, but that's very different from being a part of board meetings and, actually being a member. I think that a good part of my first times being on the board, I'm just going to spend a lot of time listening and making sure that I'm understanding everything that's going on. I'm understanding all of the different perspectives and stakeholders and and also building relationships with the other people on the board, with the administrators, and just trying to keep myself as informed as possible. I was also a part of I attended the Monroe County School Board Association holds a prospective candidate seminar. And that was one example where I, went and I attended that seminar for a few hours and learned more about kind of what some of the main roles of a board member are. And I think that during the first part of being a school board member, I would just take time to listen, understand everything, and then I could hopefully make a useful contribution as a member of the board.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver. Mr. Dries, how will you work to collaborate with current board members and district leadership?
Sure. I think it's listening and providing feedback. So from my perspective, I think to complement the two before me, listening and learning the needs and the direct items that are necessary to address from the school, whether it's faculty, staff, administration, I think helps guide and understand where to send our focus. I think on the other side of that, being transparent on where we are, whether it be financially or operationally, some of the competing priorities we're working on would help us just create that level of a 360-degree communication on what we're working through.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dries. Mr. Shalmo, how will you work to collaborate with current board members and district leadership?
I agree with everything that's been said. Listening first, knowing that we all come from different backgrounds and we have different perspectives, which are important Because if we all had the same ideas, then that would not be good. Taking stock of where we've been, what we're doing and working together and collaborating together. I think it's important as we're collaborating to know that it's okay to be critical. Because when there's a forum for being critical, then we can make things better. Also being critical, being positive at the same time, and then sharing being constructive and building things up. I encourage that and doing that together and doing that in a situation where we are working as a collaborated team. That's important. Giving that, I said at the very beginning, I think it's important as we work as a community, but not only looking at the decisions, but making sure there's tangible action steps to be made for the community. I think the community needs to be heard and know they're going to be heard also.
Thank you, Mr. Shalmo. Mr. Maselli, how will you work to collaborate with current board members and district leadership?
Part of this is, I do this in practice today. But I firmly believe if you want to go somewhere fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you do it together. I think part of that is communication, collaboration with all the different stakeholders. I routinely go out and have lunch and meet on my own time with various bargaining group leaders within the district, as well as I could say that the onboarding process historically for new board members has been lacking. So I've gone on my way to really connect with the new board members to really guide them through the whole process. Because for the first couple of years, this volunteer job is actually pretty overwhelming because it's so different than what people experience in maybe their corporate world where they work.
Thank you, Mr. Maselli. Okay, question number 2, Mr. Weaver. What will be your approach as a board member to secure a quality education for students while managing the fiscal impact on our school community?
Yeah, that's a very tough question because there is a very clear trade-off between, if you add more money to the budget, then that raises sort of a little bit of the tax burden for the community as a whole. But obviously, there are times when you need to increase the budget in order to help maintain all of the amazing programs that we have here at Spencerport. My perspective is that if you have all of the best facilities, you have the best teachers, you have small class sizes, and you have a really good school district, that will bring people into Spencerport and that will increase the property values. That will just be good for the economy of the district as a whole, and which is sort of beneficial for everyone. And I know that there's plenty of people who even recently have come into this district just because of how great schools here at Spencerport are. And I think that it's important that we continue to invest in our teachers and our staff and making sure that we continue that.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver. Mr. Dries, what will be your approach as a board member to secure quality education for students while maintaining the fiscal impact on our school community?
Great question. I think from my perspective, it's long-range planning. It's not adjusting to what we need today or just for today, but it's how do we continue to be a top-rated school in the community? What things are we looking for and planning for, not just for this year, but next year, 5 and 10 years out? How do we make sure that we're able to continue to provide the best resources for instruction? How do we make sure that we're able to continue to retain and develop teachers to give us that high rating in the community for our education? I don't think it's a short-sighted answer. I think for me, it's just learning and looking out farther to make sure that we're on path to continue to hit and achieve our goals.
Thank you, Mr. Dries. Mr. Shalmo, what will be your approach as a board member to secure a quality education for students while managing the fiscal impact on our school community?
I think our quality education begins with the culture that we create. We need to be intentional about our culture, because if we're not intentional about culture, culture builds itself. And that also involves our teachers. It involves the staff that's around our students. making sure that they have the resources they need and that there's a safe learning environment for our students, not only physically, which we've made great strides working with Chris Mears and everything that he's done. Unfortunately, he just stepped out. He couldn't hear me say that. Also, but emotionally, because if they're secure emotionally, then they're able to engage in their education. And when they're fundamentally secure in both those areas, then they're able to make great strides, and the teachers are able to partner with them. I think we have two great strengths in our school, and that's our staff and our students. And partnering with them is the way that we are going to move forward with securing quality education, managing fiscal responsibility. I think Mr. Zinkowicz has done a great job utilizing community, utilizing the videos and bringing that up to our community, showing our community what we're doing, not only at the end of the budgeting process, but at the beginning of the budgeting process and all the way through. I think being transparent throughout all of it is very important, and bringing people along with us is also important. I said allowing people chances to be critical. That's important too. But when making a budget, we need to decide what comes first: education programs, expenditure levels, or tax implications. And when we decide some of those things, then I think we'll be stronger, both with quality education and managing fiscal responsibility.
Thank you, Mr. Shallow. Mr. Maselli, what will be your approach as a board member to secure a quality education for students while managing the fiscal impact on our school community?
So finance is one of my greatest interests in this process of the budgeting and being on the board. It's a balancing act. So there's a lot of tools in place where you can effectively manage the budget. We are in the people business, teachers, students. This is a school, this is a people business. So the biggest things is what drives what we do here is our mission, our vision, and culture and climate. Though around that, it's actually a triangle, if you see it on our website. That's what drives all our decisions. And from our mission and our vision, that and the limiters involved, that's how we derive all of our decisions. So and it's a balancing act. You want to put forth the best possible educational experience for our students at the same time while being fiscally responsible. And there's some tools in there that we often use to balance that. One is long-term financial planning. We have to plan for the future expenses that everybody knows are going up. And then there's long-term planning as far as policy and education and edicts that come down from the state. Perhaps the biggest one that we don't talk about, what we should, is called strategic abandonment. If we have programs that aren't in use anymore, then we should move away from those programs and divert resources to other programs that are in use. We've seen that in the evolution of technology within our school district.
Thank you, Mr. Maselli. Ms. Buscemi, what will be your approach as a board member to secure a quality education for students while managing the fiscal impact on our school community?
Well, first, I think it's important that we not sacrifice the quality for and make sure that we are attracting the top teachers like we already have in the district. As a mom who's volunteered in numerous classrooms, I've seen how hard our teachers work and the amazing impact that they have. I'm always impressed by how well our students are doing. And there's a difficult situation right now with the teacher shortage, and so we need to make sure we're offering competitive benefits and being a district that's desirable to not only teachers but also to families who want to move here. That's why I moved here almost 20 years ago. My husband and I definitely wanted to move to Spencerport because we knew we have a family and we wanted them to be educated here. One of the biggest strengths I think in our district is the smaller class sizes. I think that's very attractive compared to some other districts to potential teachers to come here. And I think that those are some of the things we need to think about to drive the growth in our area. And also when it comes to the budget matters, certainly I don't have any experience managing or being involved with managing a budget this large. I'm looking forward to learning a lot about that from the current board members and the folks in the district to see how best I can contribute in that area.
Thank you, Ms. Buscemi. Okay, question number 3. Mr. Dries, what do you hope your contribution or focus will be as a board member?
Sure, thanks, Ms. Clapper. I think my focus and contribution would be providing a financial perspective and also leveraging my current career experience with overseeing human resources for a large organization. I think a lot of what I experience in my day-to-day relating to people issues really translates to some of the opportunities and things that the schools are moving towards, whether it's social, emotional learning, technology, CRE. At the end of the day, how do we relate to our children? How do we engage them? How do we let them know that technology is not a substitute, but a complement to their experience in life? I think with my experience and my team that I oversee, I can really help kind of, I guess, support some of the things that I know the school is working through as issues. Facility wise, I've got a lot of experience with capital improvements. I think I can help the school kind of understand when we're navigating big investments, kind of the things that we've seen in our experience that are hiccups. Sometimes in construction, there's no turning back. And I think from that perspective, having a well-rounded group making those decisions, talking through those considerations can help us make the right decision faster and continue the success that the school has had.
Thank you, Mr. Dries. Mr. Shalma, what do you hope your contribution or focus will be as a board member?
I've experienced in a lot of different areas. Like Brandon, I've had a lot of experience in capital projects and working with large budgets. But I think my main experience in my main contribution will be on really my privilege. I've had the privilege of working with people of all ages and beliefs and ethnicities, helping and unify them and problem solve. My journey has been defined by fostering a genuine connections between these people and different organizations and helping them come to a common goal together, gearing them towards community betterment. I think that'll be my main contribution.
Thank you, Mr. Shalma. Mr. Maselli, what do you hope your contribution or focus will be as a board member?
I think as a board member, our mission always has to be, it's about the kids. The mission's right on the wall right there. Top on the list, a quality education with a wide range of curriculum and really just supporting our students. I think secondarily is given this environment, safety in our schools is critical. There's not enough that can be said or done on safety. I'm a strong advocate for technology. I work in that sector. Technology is evolving every day, just like education is. In order to support all of this, you need to have long-term and short-term financial plans in place to do all of that. Given the background that I've served for 9 years, I have a track record of being able to collaborate and build partnerships and bring people together to actually go out and do these things, to provide a premium education.
Thank you, Mr. Maselli. Ms. Buscemi, what do you hope your contribution or focus will be as a board member?
I think my experience as a parent advocate for both of my children will be very helpful as a board member. I never expected to quite get as involved in my daughter's education as I have ended up being. I had this vision of putting her on a school bus in kindergarten and she'd get off and then, go to some school functions here and there. But as she needed some additional assistance, I have had quite an education and been able to, as I referenced earlier, one of my strengths is building relationships. So through being in the school, asking questions of a lot of teachers and administrators to learn all I can about what's going on in the buildings and specific to, also what my daughter was dealing with for some special education services. I've been able to kind of open my eyes quite a bit, and I would continue to do that as a board member and want to learn even more about what's going on in the school community and within all of the buildings. And, I've become very passionate to advocate for public education and the impact that the teachers have on our students' lives. And, I would hope to do anything that I could to continue to, help our students be successful.
Thank you, Ms. Buscemi. Mr. Weaver, what do you hope your contribution or focus will be as a board member?
I think that my contribution and my focus comes largely from the fact that I am so recent of a student of Spencerport. And so I have a very good understanding of the issues that our generation faces that were not directly faced by, people who are, in the generation before us. One such issue is, ChatGPT. It's really not that easy to teach kids, for example, to write. If you give them a writing assignment and they can just type the prompt into ChatGPT and it will turn out a 4-page essay for them. That's an issue that has not had to have been addressed in the past. Another important issue for our students, especially at the high school level, but probably even at the middle school level, is vaping. I have several friends at the University of Rochester who do vape, and they started vaping in high school, and they're having trouble quitting. They want to quit. And, I think that we need to do more to educate students about how addictive it is and how bad it is for them. And so I think that, as someone, a member of Generation Z, I have a unique perspective that is different from the perspective of any of the other members on this board. And I have a very good understanding of the issues that are faced by the students that are in our schools right now.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver. Question number 4, Mr. Shalmo. What are you most proud of as a member of the Spencerport learning community?
I'm most proud of my kids. Most proud of their peers and seeing them foster relationships from kindergarten and all the way up to my oldest is in 7th grade now. And really watching the great staff support in extracurriculars. And when I go out into the rest of the community, going into Rochester or East Side, Spencerport has a great reputation. A wonderful reputation for community support and good education and great sports.
Thank you, Mr. Shalmo. Mr. Maselli, what are you most proud of as a member of the Spencerport learning community?
I think the thing I'm most proud of is the community itself. It's about the students. I've seen firsthand, growing up here, graduating from Spencerport. I have a son that recently graduated from Spencerport. Now he's moved on to college, and all the success he's had is because of his education here. I also have a kid in the high school. I think it's a sense of community. Back in the pandemic, local businesses got together with the district, and for months, we set up basically a food pantry and fed members of this community to support them in their time of need during the pandemic. So the best thing I'm proud of is the staff and the connections they make with our students themselves, and the community at large that really historically has banded together and supported each other in their biggest time of need.
Thank you, Mr. Maselli. Ms. Buscemi, what are you most proud of as a member of the Spencerport learning community?
I do agree that our sense of community contributes to the overall well-being of all of the students in our schools. I'm incredibly proud of both of my kids and how they've been thriving in their own ways, thanks to the assistance that they get, the teachers that they've had. It's been an interesting opportunity to spend so much time in some of the school buildings volunteering and thinking about the sense of community that does exist among the staff and parents in the community as well. I've gotten to know a lot of parents in our community, and we have engaged parents. We have parents who want to be involved in their children's education, and it really is something that you can't put a tangible number on the value of something like that. People in our community want to know what's going on. They want to show up at their kids' sporting events, at the school activities. We always had a really high turnout for events that we planned through the Burnaby Parents Association, and I was proud of all the volunteers we often had sign up for activities. Parents want to be involved, and I think that you wouldn't find that in all communities across the county.
Thank you, Ms. Buscemi. Mr. Weaver, what are you most proud of as a member of the Spencerport learning community?
There's a couple things that I'm really proud of in the Spencerport learning community. One of them is the amazing experience that I had with all of the teachers at Spencerport. I had probably 40 teachers, probably maybe more than that, throughout the course of all of the education that I did at Spencerport. And I had the most amazing time in all my classes because I felt like the teachers actually cared about me. And I always felt like they were teaching us information. Well, maybe not always felt like this, but most of the time I felt like they were teaching us information that was relevant and interesting, and that they actually cared about the subject that they were teaching. And I felt like the teachers cared about us and always did their best for us. And the other thing that I am super proud of at Spencerport was the student body. I always felt amazingly welcome. I never really had to deal with any bullying throughout all the time that I was at Spencerport. And I felt welcome, and I felt like everyone knew everyone at Spencerport. It was the type of environment where it's large enough that there's a lot of people there, but small enough that you know a lot of the other people, you know almost everyone in your grade. And the class sizes were small enough that you knew everyone in your class and your teachers always knew you. And I am very proud that Spencerport provides an experience like that.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver. Mr. Dries, what are you most proud of as a member of the Spencerport learning community?
Sure, thank you. A couple things. I think first, my earlier comment about that 360-degree communication. I think the school district does a great job communicating. I think whether we're talking about teachers or the ones I've experienced, principals, superintendents, their communications out to parents is second to none as far as I'm concerned. They outline what the school is working on, they outline what's upcoming, they outline successes, opportunities, they ask for feedback. And I think that is such a unique and great opportunity for the school to continuously learn and develop their long-term plan by gaining feedback from those in the district. The second piece I'll say is, for those of you out there with kids, that first day when your kid leaves you for kindergarten and they have a smile on their face, to this time of year when they're coming home and they can read to you is an unbelievable experience. And, I'll leverage that from my own experience, but, publicly, we all see where Spencerport stands. We are a successful school, and we really should be proud of that.
Thank you, Mr. Dries. At this time, we'd like to provide some closing remarks. So we'll start with Mr. Maselli.
So let's say this, everyone has a platform nowadays. Everyone goes on social media and complains about schools, about the community, about society. But very rarely are people willing to stand up and do something to volunteer to make a change. About 10 years ago, I volunteered, was elected to the Board of Education, to provide leadership for public education in our community. So over the 9 years experience that I've had, I've literally served on every possible committee in every position that's been made available to me. Over this time, education's evolved a lot, it's changed a lot, technology has evolved a lot. But at the same time, I've made myself available. Just about everyone has my phone number and they have no problem calling me. And I stayed connected to the community, and I've demonstrated a track record of success while serving on the board. All that said, I just think there's a lot of work to still be done. I will work tirelessly to continue to bring quality education to our students while balancing fiscal responsibility. That balancing act that I talked about, that tightrope that I talked about earlier is so critical, because without funding, we can't provide effective education and vice versa. So the last 9 years, I've been committed to serving on the board. Should I be elected and I have the honor of serving, I would remain committed to doing what's best for kids. I'm here for the right reasons. I'm here for the mission. And honestly, I just appreciate having the opportunity to serve, and I hope to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Maselli. Ms. Buscemi?
I have spent the last 9 or 10 years or so really getting an education in our public education system, and I really would hope to be able to offer that experience and leverage that knowledge as a potential board member. I've become so passionate about making sure that all of the students in our buildings receive a quality education, and Spencerport is a fantastic district, and I'm so glad my family moved here for this district. And I do think my background as a recruiter provides a unique perspective in helping our district or providing that guidance a little bit, having that point of view what employers are looking for secondary education and all the different programs that we have for our students to consider, and the qualities and the skills that employers will be looking for, because that's going to be the end goal. We want the students to graduate and have a successful future to look forward to. And I think that would be a unique perspective that I can provide. I hope that I can be successful in this role should I get elected.
Thank you, Ms. Buscemi. Mr. Weaver?
Yeah, closing remarks. I think that everyone here is clearly competent to be on the board, and everyone here would clearly cares so much about our district. And I just want to wish you all the best of luck. And I think that I have a unique perspective as someone who was a very recent student here at Spencerport. And I think that whoever gets elected, I think that we'll work with the board in order to help continue to keep this district the high quality education service that it is. And I would like to wish everyone a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver. Mr. Dries?
Yes, appreciate the opportunity to be up here with these candidates. I think in summary, my experience would help provide considerations to the board and help us make well-rounded decisions to continue to be successful. I care quite a bit about my kids' education. I care quite a bit about my family. And I think this is one of the ways I can give back to the community in a way that I've been successful.
Thank you, Mr. Dries. Mr. Shalma?
When making decisions and when involving ourselves, we need to know why we're doing things. And like we've all said, the why is the students. I would do it for the students every step of the way, every meeting, and everything that I'm currently doing is for the students, for all 3,600 students on all our campuses, educating and inspiring and desiring to give them all the resources possible. I love my family, and I know that all of you love your families and love their friends, and giving them the best opportunity in a time when everything is battling for their attention. I look forward to partnering and giving them those opportunities.
Thank you, Mr. Shalmo. So this concludes our Meet the Candidates portion of the evening. We'd like to thank all of our candidates for participating this evening. A reminder that if you have a question that was not answered this evening, please check the website for their bios, or it's also available in the Cornerstone, which will be mailed out tomorrow. I will now turn things over to Mr. Zinkowicz for a few final thoughts.
Thank you, Mrs. Clapper. I'd also like to echo Mrs. Clapper's sentiment. I want to thank our 5 candidates for expressing an interest in our most valuable commodity, that being our students. Your willingness to dedicate your time, your effort, your expertise, and your energy on behalf of our students, certainly it's something that we all appreciate. We just want to thank you and have a round of applause for our 5 candidates.